Hey, it's Live with Leah and the Culinary Underground. I'm Leah and I'm also Culinary Underground. It is 4 o'clock on Thursday, March 18th, 2021.
Correcto.
We're coming live from beautiful northern Italy. That's it out there. It's an absolutely sunny, gorgeous day. And because of that, we are in lockdown. Not because of the weather, because cases of corona in the region and in Italy have become greater and the numbers are growing. They put us all on lockdown coming up into Easter to hopefully quell and start to bring the numbers back down. So anyway, out of my expertise, out of my lane there. Hey.
Amy Robinson says hi. Jeremiah Warren says hey, and
hey.
Tanya Bowe says ciao bella.
Ciao Tanya. I'm actually going to talk about Miss Tanya today. I ran into her at the market earlier today, and she said that one of the things she liked about watching the show, or that she's learned and picked up, is having all of your ingredients ready in front of you before you cook. Maybe not right in front of you, but just handy, cut, shredded, trimmed, whatever, ready to go, all your spices. It helps make cooking so much easier, and professionally in the chef world, we call that your mise en place, having everything in its place before you get started. It definitely makes my recipes, any recipe out there online, in a book, so much easier. Read the recipe, see what you need, get your own ingredients together, and it should be a lot easier to cook from that point on. So today, we are going to do just a really easy chicken scallopini. I don't think we've made this dish before on the show. We have done like a fried chicken cutlet. This is not a fried dish. This is just a lightly floured and sauteed chicken dish with a sauce that we make in the pan, a pan jus. So I have one whole chicken breast here. I've got gloves on because I don't have the time to wash my hands after I cut it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn one chicken breast into two. So got my little chicken there. Don't need this glove. So now I'm just going to lay, ooh, actually I do need that glove. What am I talking about? Oh my gosh, okay, one more glove. This is live. In my head, I walk through this so I know what I'm doing, and it all goes out the window. All right, so I'm gonna take my little chicken breast and I'm just gonna flat palm, sharp knife, cut my chicken breast in half as evenly as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. But I just want to get as close to equal pieces as I can. And you can see here I did not do that, but that's okay. I've got two little cutlets here. Dirty knife in the sink, dirty gloves off. Now I've got plastic on my cutting board. I recommend not doing this on wooden cutting boards because you hate to break through the plastic and contaminate your cutting board. But just for efficiency's sakes, we're doing that like this right now. The cutlets that I prepared right before the show here, I just did on my back counter. So I've got plastic on the top, plastic on the bottom. I've got my mallet, and I'm just going to pound these into even thickness. I'm not looking to make them paper thin, but if you know chicken breasts, you know they have a thick part and it kind of tapers to a thin part. So by cutting that in half, I still have two thick parts that taper to thin parts. I'm just trying to even out that thickness. And what that does, I can feel it in my hand, it's pretty even all the way across that cutlet, it's going to make the cook time very even. And the cook temperature through the chicken breast, very even. It's flat.
The flat side of the...
Yeah, flat side of the mallet.
Okay.
Yeah. Alex is telling me, my beautiful son back there behind the camera is telling me to make sure you use the flat part. You could use the tenderizer, but that's more for beef, maybe some veal. The flat part is not going to rip through your plastic. It's going to help you achieve the goal that you want. So I'm just going to touch, and I have a little thick part here and there, but it's pretty even consistency of thickness throughout the cutlet now. So let me get my pan brought up to temperature a little bit. I'm looking for about a medium-high heat. Now, you could make this chicken in the pan with some clarified butter, which is how we were taught in culinary school. Clarifying butter, it takes some time. It takes not a lot of skill, but it takes some time, and it takes a lot of butter to really get like a good usable amount of clarified butter. So I'm going to cheat a little bit today and just use some light olive oil. You can use canola oil or vegetable oil, and we're going to finish with butter in the pan to tighten the sauce up. So, got my cutlets. Taking off my plastic.
Sharon says hi. Amy says, I love your recipes.
Hey, thank you. guys watching, like, I'm always so paranoid when I go live because I don't know if there's anybody out there. And I don't need there to be anybody out there. I love that there are people out there, but it definitely helps that I know I'm not talking to myself.
There are currently 10 people watching.
10 people. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm seasoning my chicken cutlets, salt and pepper, right? And what I have in the description is I say that this is a very customizable dish. It is in the sense that you don't have to only stick with salt and pepper on your chicken cutlet. I'm doing that because it's just basic seasoning. And at the Culinary Underground, we always season, unless I forget. But if you wanted to do like a garlicky scallopine or like an onion and mushroom flavored scallopine, you could definitely season with some onion powder, some garlic powder, some Cajun seasoning, whatever your heart desires. All right, so I've got one side seasoned. I am going to season the other side. I've got my tongs here. And again, just another little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. All right, season, season, season. Voila, easy. So, got just all-purpose flour here, nothing fancy, nothing that I had to go to a special store for and buy, just some regular flour. And I'm just gonna dredge. I'm just gonna kind of drag my chicken cutlets through the flour to coat them lightly. We're not deep frying, we're just doing like a nice shallow kind of saute. And we wanna get these nice brown colors on this flour, on this scallopine. It's gonna cook really fast because this chicken is nice and thin. It's gonna cook quickly. My pan is getting really hot, so let me lower the temperature and we'll get this going. So I'm just gonna shake, shake, shake out this extra flour. I'm gonna add some oil to my pan. I'm putting about 2 tablespoons in there. I want it coated. I want this to sizzle when it hits. It's a little hot, so let me just pull it off the heat for a second and kind of cool this pan down a little bit. I don't want this to burn. The reason I'm not using real butter or full fat butter is because it will burn. The fats in the butter will brown and will darken and will burn and will add a real bitter taste to my sauce. And that's what I don't want. And that's why I'm not using extra virgin olive oil. Again, we're not frying at really high heat, but we want this to cook, we want this to get brown, so it's gonna be in there kind of high, you know, for the right amount of time, and extra virgin olive oil would turn bitter and would burn. All right, so I've got my cleaned up area here. Once we pull the chicken out of the pan, we are going to add some lemon juice, and I just had a whole lemon that I rolled on my cutting board, got it really juicy on the inside, opened it up, and out of 1 lemon, I got like a good 1/3 cup of lemon juice. I have just some dry white wine, any kind, Sauvignon, Friulano, Tokai, Chardonnay, anything will work. I have some cold butter. I have 4 tablespoons here. I'm hopefully only going to use about 2, maybe 1 since I'm only making 1 portion. The husband's home. Now, we're in the lockdown, so we're restricted to our houses. We're not supposed to leave and kind of just go willy-nilly, running around, doing whatever we want. So that being said, I don't have fresh parsley today, and that's okay. What I'm going to use is a little bit of dried parsley that I have in the pantry, and I'm going to season and flavor my pan sauce with a little bit of dried parsley. And it's just going to give it that nice little pop of green. You want to come around and say hi, honey?
Sure, baby.
The husband's home. All right. We're making chicken scallopini.
Lindsay.
Yeah, welcome home.
Lindsay says hi, and
Hey.
Jennifer says it's a lovely day to cook. Sounds yummy.
Oh, it's so yummy. We're going to have this for dinner tonight. If you watch the show, you know I make tons of crazy dishes, easy dishes that you can also make at your home too. Really easy. Nothing that's going to stress you out. But we do eat everything that we make, whether it be for dinner or maybe it's a snack before dinner. I think the other day someone ate all the eggs Benedict before dinner.
No.
Yes.
No.
All right. So this is cooking up beautifully. The chicken has started to turn white around the edges. I don't know if you can see that. This piece is a little smaller, so it is cooking a little faster. So I'm going to go ahead and flip him over. Look at that beautiful color. I'm going to pick this up so you can see. Oh, right there. Gorgeous, right? Don't burn yourself, Leah. Alex is back there getting welcome home smooches from Dad. He's like, Dad, the mic's on. The mic's not working. I don't know if there's any Bridget Jones fans out there, but it's one of my favorite scenes. All right, beautiful cutlet, gorgeous, absolutely lovely. We're just cooking this chicken through. We're gonna take the chicken off of the heat when it's done, and we're gonna finish the sauce in the pan. Again, this dish, without without Leah like yabbing in your ear and on your screen, you can do this in a bigger pan, 4 pieces, in probably about 12 minutes. Have a nice crisp salad, some steamed rice or mashed potatoes or vegetables, whatever you want, and have dinner ready to go. Super easy, nothing complicated. All right, so what I am going to do a little differently to this sauce that you don't have to do because you are going to have your lemon juice is I'm just going to zest a little bit of lemon in my pan once I get the juice going. And it's just going to add a little bit of that little yellow color into it and just a little bit more vibrant lemon flavor because there's lots of flavor in this skin. All right, beautiful sauce. Oh yeah, this one's cooked all the way through. I mean, believe it or not, it's done.
Julie Talley says, "Good
Hey,
morning,
Julie.
sunshine."
Good morning, sunshine. Good morning, Julie. Oh my gosh. And I'm poking my chicken with the top of my tongs, not to squeeze out any of the juice, but just to feel how firm it is. It's done. Firm. It's cooked all the way through. So now I'm going to add in some lemon juice and the wine. All right, and I'm going to use my tongs or spoon, whatever you have, to kind of scrape up those little bits of brown goodness that came off of the cutlets. Now what is that? That's the flour and the protein from the chicken that was sticking to the pan, and that is flavor, flavor, flavor. I am not the first chef to say this by far. Everybody before me has said this. We learned this in school. All that good little crusty brown goodness that hasn't burnt, it is flavor. And if you can put any sort of liquid, whether it be chicken broth, if you don't drink wine, chicken broth works fine. Just any sort of liquid, even water to deglaze to help pick up that fron, those little brown bits of goodness. It will make a huge difference in your sauce and it'll taste phenomenal. So yes, there was flour on these cutlets and some of that flour has now transferred onto here, and flour is a thickener, so it's going to help thicken this sauce. So what I'm going to do now is just let this simmer and let the water that's naturally in the wine and the water that's naturally in the lemon juice evaporate out. And as this sauce reduces, we're going to add a little bit of butter. We're going to take it off the heat. We're just going to swirl that around. If you've seen one of the videos I did sometime last year, it was called a beurre blanc, right? It's like a white wine butter sauce. This is almost exactly that. We just didn't start off with the shallots and the peppercorns like you would in a traditional beurre blanc. We're, of course, seasoning this with the lemon juice, a little bit of the parsley, some salt, and some pepper, and it'll be done. So it's reducing really well. There's some nice golden color. I don't know if you can really see it. Can you see it, Alex? Yeah, it's beautiful. It's kind of like a camel color. Absolutely gorgeous. So I just want that to reduce down a little bit more. Now this is just a 1 portion, I guess, dish that I'm making right now, but I will write the 4 portions in the recipe so you can make it for easily a family of 3 or 4. See how that water, I mean, it's almost gone.
Alicia Winter says, "Hello, sweet friend," and
Hey!
Cindy Wallace says, "Hi, my friend."
Hey, Cindy. Now, Cindy does not eat meat. Could you do this with tofu, Cindy? Absolutely. You could saute some pieces of firm tofu or tempeh. Get that nice flavor on there with a little bit of flour, a little bit of that oil, and then instead of using butter, maybe just a plant-based country crock butter or something like that to tighten it up, or a vegan cashew cream. But here I have my reduction and my butter, and I'm keeping it off the heat. There's enough heat on this pan, and I'm just going to swirl it here. And try not to look too ridiculous, just swirl in my pan.
Julie Talley says it's beautifully golden.
It is. And so what I'm doing is I'm slowly melting this butter into that reduction. Right? So it's not breaking apart. The fat and the oil aren't separating from the sauce. If the sauce breaks, it's okay. It's just going with chicken. It's not a big deal. But if you want that nice creamy look, you definitely want to try to keep your sauce from breaking. If you're not really into making a sauce and you don't have the time, you can add a touch of cream to this and whisk it in the pan with some heat, and it'll just be a nice creamy sauce. Don't worry about it breaking. You don't have to worry about that fancy French technique. So to this, I'm just going to add a little bit of my dried parsley. Now, yeah, in a perfect world, I would love to have fresh parsley, but I don't right now. And to minimize my exposure, I'm not going to go to the market just for a pack of parsley or a bunch of parsley. And I don't have a green thumb, so I'm not growing it in my backyard. But like you see, this sauce is really thick. It's really beautiful. I'm going to just give it a little taste. Oh no.
Cindy says, "Thanks for always giving me ideas. This looks delicious."
Oh, That's really good. It's really lemony, so I want to add a little bit more butter. I got a little carried away with the lemon, but it's a lemon scallopini, so you're supposed to taste lemon. So yeah, Cindy, you could definitely do a variation of this with like some tofu, tempeh, omit the butter, use your substitute, and you should be just fine. All right, this is gonna be good. So I'm gonna season this with a little bit of pepper, and it doesn't need any salt because it has a lot of lemon, and I don't wanna make this like too lemony, too salty, too tangy. So what I'm gonna do now is not plop my pan all over the place, is add my chicken back to the pan. There we go. And just let the sauce sort of infuse the chicken. Let me turn that heat off. There we go. It's gonna break, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, get this out of the way. I mean, we're done. How easy was that? What time is it, Alex?
It is currently 4:16.
4:16, you guys. I think this has been the fastest show ever. This chicken is done. Now, if you had capers on hand, you could add some capers into this. It would be like more of a traditional scallopine that you might get at the restaurant. I don't have the capers, but that's okay. I don't need them. I have these two beautiful coated, lemony, tangy pieces of chicken.
Alicia Winter says, for keto, could you use almond flour or coconut flour?
You could use almond flour or coconut flour. Yes. All right. A little bit of sauce. And that is it. The plate is done. I wish I had fresh parsley, but I don't, so I'm just gonna hit this with a little bit of dry parsley. And that is super easy chicken scallopine. Now the taste. So after we finish here, I will clean up and make another one for the picture. Unless I take a picture now, I don't know. Let's try it. Let's see.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes with the Culinary Underground. I don't know, we'll see if that picture turns out. I'm not so sure. Okay, let's give this a taste. This is what's on the menu for dinner tonight.
Yay.
Yay! Show you the chicken.
I might just come over there for a bite.
You can come over here for a bite, though.
Most definitely.
So chicken is cooked all the way through. Yes. I want to feed him so bad.
Yeah.
That's really good. Really tender.
That's the stuff.
That's the stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching the Culinary Underground. This was a really quick episode. I love it. If you have all of your ingredients ready to go for any recipe, my recipe, any recipe in the world, it will make your cooking experience that much more enjoyable, I promise. So have a great week, you guys. Enjoy this beautiful weather if you're here in northern Italy. If you're not, have a great day. Thank you, and we'll see you next week. Ciao!